What's up, everybody? Welcome back. If you're new here, welcome to Socials Podcast. This is our season finale. I'm Gabe,
My name's David.
and this is Socials Podcast. Like I said, if you're new tuning in, we are Socials. We are a lifestyle brand here to normalize cannabis through conversation. We are aiming to educate users and non-users about the balance of how cannabis can benefit you in multiple ways in your life. And I'm here with David. I believe we met at the Wolfpack event, right?
Yeah, right.
Oh, man. I just want to share a little bit about yourself. Let them know about, if you guys don't follow him on Instagram, it's at BLNCD_lifestyle, balanced lifestyle right here. And his
that's
personal one, what's your personal
My
name?
personal is DJ Hebron. It's DJ Hebron. You can navigate to the balance page from there as well, but it's just balanced lifestyle. The word balance without the vowels, if that makes sense. People get confused, but that's a easy little
Balance without the
there.
vowels.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yep.
That's what's up. Yeah, we're out here. I'm so excited to be here with you, man. I saw you last time we met at Wolfpack. It was a great event. You went on there, and that was the first time I actually heard about your brand. And then I started to do some research. I followed you on Instagram right before the event, and I noticed that, balanced lifestyle is so similar to us because we like to talk about how you balance cannabis in your life. And it's so similar because we're both lifestyle brands. It's awesome to have you out here. And I think that what you're doing, I know your website, you have, if you don't check them out, www.blncdlifestyle.com, right?
Yep, exactly.
Check them out because I really like your education, the articles you're publishing.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, just to shed some light on that. So here at Balanced Lifestyle, we aim to change the way that people talk about and communicate about cannabis and about the products. And, we went with the name Balanced Lifestyle because, out of all the things that cannabis does, and especially CBD, when you break down the science in simple terms, what it does is brings balance to your life, or it brings balance to your body and your mind, and homeostasis to your different physiological systems. So the one major focus of our platform is the education, and so we share a lot of actual clinical data and medical research that's done all over the world. In the U.S. It's been tough since it's been federally illegal for so long. It's been tough to get any actual research done on it legally. So unless it's done overseas.
And it's still Schedule 1 drug.
Exactly.
Soon to be hopefully Schedule 2.
But some progress on that regard. So there's a lot of UCs, for example. My alma mater, UCR, just got a huge grant. I think it was around $800,000 to study the long-term effects of cannabis and type 2 diabetes and other related issues. And so, and a lot of UCs are getting funding like that. But, so on my site, you'll find a lot of research, both done in the U.S. recently, because now some of the legal boundaries in terms of research have been lifted. So you'll find some stuff done both domestically and just all over the world with respect to specific health issues. So, with pain, whether it's chronic pain in your body or neurological pain in your brain, inflammation, cancer, PTSD, different topics like that you can find on there. And then the other function of this site is a premier e-commerce platform for a lot of just a really high quality CBD brands, and we look for thought leaders and innovators in each category. And so you'll find a lot of products like some of these ones are specially designed for athletes to help them recover faster, perform better. Like I think you at the Wolfpack event you mentioned when we met, you guys got the electrolyte CBD infused electrolyte mix. This same brand, Arcanum Edge, they have these are CBD infused kinesiology tape. So you mentioned you're a runner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's like KT tape.
exactly, KT tape.
Dang,
it's infused with
spectrum.
CBD, infused with full
Check this
spectrum
out.
CBD. And so for athletes, a lot of athletes are kind of weary about using cannabis or CBD products in general because they're worried about drug testing, things like that.
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
if you're using them topically, or if you're using and you have a trusted source like this, and we vet and test all of our products, and I have a personal conversation with all of their leadership to make sure that
Everything's in order.
Yeah, and they're not just out there to make a quick buck. They have integrity and nobility as a brand. You know what I mean? And their technology clearly sets them apart. And this is a good example of a brand that does that. But we have other brands that specialize in female wellness. For example, we're a partner with Foria Wellness. They create some essential oils and products specifically for women's to cater to women's bodies and the natural cycles that they go through on a monthly basis. And so that's really cool. So we try to bring the marriage between the education and the resources, and the products that have the potential to change people's life.
Wow, man. It's so funny that you mentioned homeostasis, because that's what I like to use to myself as balancing and returning my body and my mind back to homeostasis.
Right.
I'm big about that. And it's also crazy that you mentioned UCR, because I went to Cal State Fullerton, so we're both in the Big West Conference.
Yeah.
I actually ran on your guys' track a lot. Didn't have the
Really?
best races, but I had some okay ones. It was fun.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. The track team is
Yeah.
competitive there. They're even their soccer team. A lot of their teams were really underrated.
Yeah, I know Eric Cisneros. Shout out Eric. I used to run with him at Mount Sac.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, UCR it's a nice track, and I think Brenda Martinez, she used to run there, and
Oh,
she's
did
like
she?
a famous runner. Yeah, she runs for New Balance and Big Bear Track Club.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
She went to Rancho Cucamonga High School.
Rancho Cucamonga? Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard came from out here. He grew up in Marina Valley.
What?
Yeah, he went to high school
Marina
at
Valley?
King in Riverside, I think.
No way! I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. He grew up out there,
King?
and I
I
grew
played
up
soccer on there. What?
Yeah, I grew up in Marina Valley. That's how I found out, and I heard somebody talk about it, and obviously I went to school, or my undergrad. I think I mentioned I went to UC Riverside, and so King is right there in Riverside, right down the road, and that was his alma mater. Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. Well, now we're talking about you, man. I want to know how you balance cannabis in your life.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to find their own routine, their own dose, and I definitely spent a couple months, if not even a couple years, kind of self-experimentation with both CBD and THC products, whether it's flower, topicals, edibles, different things. I was never one to take to edibles. I never really cared for them.
Same. They're just no good for me.
Yeah, I feel like it was they're harder to control, and the big thing about this industry, I guess one of the biggest concerns is the lack of predictability and the experience you're going to get, and when it comes to edibles, you can't really predict that. But
I do like microdosing edibles, though. I will say that. Like,
if you can
like
get a
5
quality
to 10
edible,
to
it definitely
15,
helps.
I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So, but for me, I personally, I like to wake up and I'll medicate with some THC flower in the morning, and I'll use that to start and roll into my morning meditation. I just do that for about 10, 15 minutes. A lot of research recently is coming out that supports that cannabis helps establish the mind-body connection. So doing that in collaboration with meditation, and then going into a workout, like going into an exercise, like what I do in the morning, I'll smoke, like I said, do meditation, and then go roll right into my workout. Nice. And then start my day like that. And it helps you, obviously from a physical perspective, starting your day with a workout every day, but then, when you meditate and medicate with some cannabis, it helps you stay focused and ready to just, conquer whatever you're doing that day.
Dang, so it's like wake, bake, and meditate.
There it is. Cool. Yep, there it is.
That's crazy, man.
Yep.
That's awesome. I'm really I like that. That's very motivational to me. I'm trying to develop a better routine myself and get more organized with socials. Everything is coming up. We got season 2 coming up, so that's something that I have to really build and get people excited for. And I'm excited.
Yeah, and a big thing though I will say is that, again, everybody has to find their dose, and if you're a first-time user, maybe THC flower may not be ideal. Some people, if they're first time, they might be super sensitive to THC. So I always recommend a CBD product first. If you're really weary, I would do a topical, so that way you're not ingesting anything. It's going back to having a predictable experience for your first time. Like for your first time having an edible, for example, you get blown out of your mind, you have a bad experience, you may not smoke or touch cannabis again for a year. Yeah. But for a first-time consumer, you don't want that to be their first time. You want them to have a pleasant time. And so introducing them with something like CBD, like my parents, for example, had been against cannabis for their entire lives. And I introduced them to how CBD offers a lot of the therapeutic value of cannabis without any of the intoxicating effects. So, it helps you stay focused and helps mitigate pain and inflammation. And so taking it, what I do, for example, I mentioned I might smoke before a workout, but then after my workout, I'll take CBD for 2 reasons, because it actually counteracts the effects of THC. So if you ever get too high, or if you ever feel paranoid or have an overdose, again, tip for first-time users, keep some CBD oil around, and it'll counteract that effect. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, and then also, a lot of people don't want to smoke in the morning before work or when they have things to do for the rest of the day. CBD will help provide some of those therapeutic values. Like I said,
without the psychoactive
without
effects.
psychoactive effects, so that way you can go into work with that relief without any adverse effects.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
That's awesome that you're advocating the balance in that.
right.
And
Yeah.
I think that's very important. For me, I tend to typically stick to flower as well. I'm not really like I said, like I do CBD in the morning, CBD agave. Shout out Violet Flame Medicinals, Gina. She wants to be on the podcast too. It's gonna be exciting, And then also, once I'm off work and my day's done, or just like the first half of my day, I like to get like that 10 minutes of me time, and roll a blunt or smoke somewhere, or just go home, just smoke a bowl, something like that. Just consume a little bit and then get ready for the rest of my day, or start creating that. I get inspired more so than high,
Right.
And that sparks my creative aspect in me to push the
Right.
content out in socials.
Right. Yeah. And there's this, obviously this misconception around cannabis that it makes you lazy, or it has this, makes you this unproductive stoner that just sits on the couch and gets the munchies. And I'm not gonna lie, I get the munchies every now and then.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a symptom.
Right, but what I've noticed, it's if you're a lazy person, it's gonna make you more lazy. If you're a productive person, it oftentimes makes you more productive in certain cases, because a lot of times highly productive people they're just running on all cylinders, and they're very amped up all the time. And so cannabis, like for me, it helps kind of mellow me out so I can stay focused, and I'm not trying to focus on a million things at once. I can focus on one thing, conquer that, and then move on to the next. And so, but again, I mean, everybody has to find their dose. For first timers, I would always recommend starting with microdosing first, 1 to 5, or, anywhere less than 10 milligrams for your first dose, I would say.
Yeah.
If it's just an isolate or a distillate, if you're doing full spectrum, maybe even a little less, because you're going to have all those terpenes and things as well.
Yeah.
And I would advocate for a better quality product with all those terpenes and things, so that way you have a better quality experience too. So
yeah,
you're not just going for
because there's a lot of brands out there, that you're advocating the right ones on your website as well. You're promoting the right CBD products.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, and that's the next question, is that, once a first-time user or anybody gets comfortable with the idea of using cannabis for the first time, or again, maybe they're an older user, stopped using cannabis for a while, and then now it's quote unquote cool again. So you have all these young millennials coming in and trying it for the first time, and you have all these old timers that smoked back in the 60s and 70s. It was bad for a long time, and now they're getting back into it. And once they if you're a first-time consumer, or all of these new consumers, once they come in and once they understand that, hey, are they comfortable with the idea that it could help them, the next question is, all right, which brands to trust, which products to try? Yeah. So we try to be kind of a one-stop shop for them, and really a third-party resource that people, consumers and professionals, can rely on for the education, and a third-party vetting, to where we've gone through the industry, we've look through who are just, they're creating some oils and some soft gels that are just like run of the mill.
Wow.
And who actually has some technology that is innovative and can actually add value to someone's life.
That's nice that you're showing transparency on the brands as well, and the companies that you're doing, and you're also doing that with blogging about them, and sort of getting reviews on that. So it's deeper than just, hey, here's this brand, try this out. It's more like, this is why we recommend it. That's very important, is the explanation part, because when people are curious, the more the better you'll feel, you know what I mean, about it.
Right.
But if it's just like, hey, try this, here's a joint, boom, in your hand, just, then I think that's important to build your base before you try to develop the idea of using cannabis to balance the focusness, because I feel like you need to just feel the effects and let it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially if you're a first-time user, I mean, start with one dose, do it for a couple days, because there's so many things that go into your experience. If you're dehydrated, how much you've eaten that day, how much you've drank that day, how much sleep you've gotten over the last couple of days. There's so many things that go into it.
100%.
And to really know your dose, there has to be some level of self-experimentation, and that could be scary to some people. But that's where, it comes down to finding, quality products. And, so we try to approach that process from a consumer, and say, make that process easier. What are they looking for? They're looking for the information. They're looking for the unique technology, and they want a brand they can trust. And so we try to put all of that in one hub.
And I really respect that. I think you guys are a great brand. Everything you're
Appreciate
doing.
that.
It's shedding a lot of spotlight. I'm liking this blender cup you got here, man.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
awesome,
We have
man.
a partnership with Cyclone Cup. We created some blender bottles with little pill and powder compartments on the bottom and a handle on top. We have 22 and 32 ounce bottles. They're pretty dope. You can find those on the website. Yeah, I mean, and another way that we kind of spread that knowledge and spread that love is with our. We were talking a little bit about this before the podcast about our brand ambassador and affiliate program.
Oh yeah.
And that is it's a great platform where we have whether you're a physical trainer, a holistic healer, a massage therapist. I'm actually sponsoring a couple professional golfers that I used to go to school with back at UCR and some other pro or semi-pro athletes, but different people that are professionals in their own right and have found some way to apply cannabis or specifically our CBD products to their life in a healthy and productive way. Nice. So they already embody living a balanced lifestyle, and they found that these products help them in that endeavor and helps them accomplish those goals without ever getting intoxicated or high.
Wow, I think it's nice that you can step out into different aspects of the industry other than cannabis. You can go into fitness. You could go to like expos and stuff like that. It's different. You can dip into other industries, and that's really advocating what a lifestyle brand is. And I think that's very important what you're doing. And that brand affiliate program, man, that sounds enticing, man. I want to know more about that. Like, how can people get to know about that more? They go on your website or
yeah. So there's a form on our website right now. If you go to www.blncdlifestyle.com, our brand ambassador and affiliate program is live. You can apply to be our brand ambassadors are more like intern types. Nice. If you're in school or if you're doing research or you want to learn about a specific area of business or cannabis, that's the kind of role for you to get some actual legitimate business and cannabis experience. Nice. And then the affiliate, we have affiliate and professional affiliate program where if you have a business, if you're an entrepreneur yourself, like for example, some of my affiliates are, I mentioned holistic healers or massage therapists, where we have CBD infused massage oils where they administer CBD massages for their clients.
Wow.
And some of the physical trainers, for example, they set up their clients with programs including other supplements like proteins, aminos, other things, and CBD products as part of their regimen to help them recover and help them perform better or reach their fitness goals.
And it's part of that balance.
And it's part of that, yeah, exactly. Dang. And so it's just showing people, different ways to integrate it into your life. And actually a newer development is we just partnered with, shout out to meal prep company Chef to the Bone out in LA and Riverside area. We're doing CBD infused meal prep. And what I love about that, what's great about them is that they, a lot of meal prep services, they have like a preset menu of things that you can order, and you got to kind of stick to that menu. Mm-hmm. They have that as one function, but they also create specific menus catered to each individual, whether you're trying to reach your fitness goals, be a serious athlete, bodybuilder, or a professional athlete, or you have a certain health condition. Maybe you're a cancer patient or you're diabetic and you need a strict diet of macros and micronutrients, and CBD can be an integral part of that if you have a certain ailment, or even if you're an athlete trying to reach your goals. Mm-hmm. We talked a little bit about microdosing. There's research that supports, as opposed to loading up with 100 or 200 milligrams of CBD in the morning, maybe 25 milligrams across 3 meals throughout the day in different ways is better. Right. And if you're infusing it with organic oils and things like that, and if it's prepared properly, I mean, that's a brilliant way to integrate it into just an active lifestyle. Yeah, and especially in meal preps, because meal preps are already micromanaged in a way. So it's, in addition to that, it's just one more thing added to the plate. Right, and it's helping that. And it can come across it, and I feel like meal preps is more so, people think it's more so like towards bodybuilders, fitness or bodybuilders, right? But what if everybody can do it, and that's why I wanted to mention, other people that might be dealing with specific health ailments. But you don't need to be an athlete. You don't need to have a health issue to need meal prep. A lot of people do it for the convenience. Like we have a lot of clients. I do it, I'm not a bodybuilder or anything, but I'm entrepreneurial, and we have a lot of entrepreneurs that, they're very busy and maybe they don't have time to cook 3 square meals a day. Right. So, I'll cook breakfast, but maybe my lunch and dinner might be some of these meal preps, and it saves my life, and it's better than getting, spending $8 to $12 a day on fast food and killing your liver and your body. But, if you can do that, and especially, like I said, if you can get a professional recommendation of, maybe a daily dose of either CBD or full spectrum cannabis oil, to help with whatever you're dealing with or whatever your goals are, integrating it into your meal plan, or however you do it into your life. Everybody, like I said, you have to find your dose. You have to find what's best for you.
Right.
And that's why it's not just a clear, this is what we have, just if you want to buy it, come get it situation.
Yeah, it's not just straight a product. It's more catered to the individual.
Right.
That's
we're not just selling products. We're trying to assess people's needs and reach them, and help them reach both their health and fitness goals, whatever that means. But starting with the education and showing them how these products are different and actually going to help them reach those goals.
I really support that, man. I support what you're doing.
Appreciate
and I want to know, like, what's your future for this, for a balanced lifestyle? What are your goals with this?
Yeah, great question. So I mentioned our brand ambassador and affiliate program. So that program has been in beta since we actually launched it, our pilot program, when we met at the Wolfpack event.
Oh, wow.
Was when we first did. Yeah. So
nice.
We have a handful of affiliates that I've been working with, and brand ambassadors that have helped me kind of work out the kinks, and now we're ready to scale it. And so now, over the next 3 to 6 months and beyond, we're looking to partner with like-minded individuals, professionals in their own right. As I mentioned, whether you're a physical trainer, you could be a graphic designer, a writer, a blogger. If you can find some way to apply these products to your lifestyle and you have another platform that you can apply it to, we'd love to hear from you. Or even if you're a student doing research and you want to, maybe your school doesn't have a cannabis program yet, because a lot of them don't. No. What's the next best thing when you're in college? They tell you to outside of your education, they tell you to get business experience, get internship experience. So we try to offer that in the form of business experience in the cannabis industry. That it's invaluable when there's no programs that exist in the college space. And so, as I mentioned, I have a friend of mine. Shout out to Brian Hogan at KGI. He's a PhD student over there. He's helping out with a lot of research in terms of how CBD and cannabis in general affects the brain as a nootropic and as a either just as a study aid or as a performance enhancer for your brain, and how
he's doing big things over there.
Counterintuitive to what people believe. That we talked about the stigma of kind of cannabis making you lazy and doing these things, but a lot of research has been proving the exact opposite. It helps you be more productive, and its neuroprotective capabilities, especially in the brain, are some of the most groundbreaking things that are happening right now. And so that's what we're just barely starting to scratch the surface in terms of research, both Brian, myself, and just all of us as an industry. But it's exciting to be a part of it. Definitely.
Yeah, and it's looking optimistic, definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so your goals with the affiliate program, just to get as much reach out there. And I like how you're supplying a funnel for college students who might be interested, because that's how I got interested in this industry.
Right.
But it comes down to when you're applying and trying to get a job, it comes down to, a lot of it comes down to experience.
Right.
And when you're in college, you don't really develop a lot of people don't develop that experience. If they do, they're working in customer service, or the food industry, or the restaurant industry, and other things like that.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you have to have a self-starting attitude, and we are very much a startup. And so when we talk about interns, I started my undergraduate career with an internship that eventually I was able to turn that into a full-time position, because the money that I generated for my company around in my area was able to suffice that, and I was able to work that into a full-time role. And so we're looking for people like that, with that kind of drive and tenacity to learn and to really do something different and help the community in a real way, you know. And so from a student perspective, that's where we're kind of looking. But from a professional perspective, I mentioned we're looking to sponsor any professional athletes that are looking to, you know, be involved with some quality CBD products, because just like athletes are people just like us, whether you're in the college space or semi-pro, professional, anything like that, you know, they're looking to integrate different products into their health regimen or their fitness regimen, and they need to know what products to trust. And sometimes they don't have the time to do all this research and read all these articles and go over all this data. But if they can establish a relationship with a trusted brand that can give them those quality products that they know won't get them in trouble, but can give them a little bit of a competitive edge, you know, then we're adding value all around. And that's what we're about is, you know, we want all of our relationships to be mutually beneficial. You know, I believe in net positive relationships where it doesn't have to be a give and take. It can be a win-win. We're both adding value to each other, just like this podcast. You know, we're adding value to each other by communicating and spreading the word about cannabis and changing the way people talk about it. And that's how it's done.
Yeah.
That's why I love your guys' platform, what you're doing here.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I think that providing this platform for you benefits a lot, because it establishes not only trust in the brand, but trust in yourself, because now I trust you and the brand. So it's like, dude, I'm with you all the way, man. I'm glad to have known you and got to meet you. And
appreciate
you know, I knew right when you were on Wolfpack, just the way you present yourself, very professional and also personal at the same time. That's that perfect balance. Not perfect, but that's your balance. And you've established that in your life. You have your routine. And that's something I'm aiming for. So
yeah. And like I said, everybody has to find their own routine, like you said, whether and whether you're dealing with cannabis, you got to find your dose, but your own routine just in your own daily life. You know, I talk to my brother about this all the time. You know, you got to figure out how you learn. You got to figure out how you develop. The way I do it, it may not be the same as the way you do it. It may be the same as how anyone else does it next to you. But, you know, I believe that success leaves clues. And if you learn from successful people around you, you can take bits and pieces and build your own map to success.
Thank you, man. And I think it's very important what you're doing, and I'm so supportive of it. I'm really glad that you're on here on this season finale, man.
Thanks, man.
That's so awesome that you're here. I know we got a couple things coming up. I'm going to an event later today, the history of hash, and then also maybe even it's a weed mayhem, or I think it's weed mayhem or something like that. It's a e-commerce platform. It's a tech industry sort of expo or party.
Where's that?
Yeah,
it's in LA.
In LA.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, let me know when that is. I might have to cruise with you. That sounds very interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm always down to go to some events.
Oh yeah, I'll hit you up. Yeah, I'll send you a text. I got
Sounds
you.
good. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. For tuning in, thank you for tuning in, everybody. The audio release is gonna be on Wednesday on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We got that up and running now.
Nice.
And then we're gonna drop the video on YouTube and WeTube the following Monday. So be sure to tune in and check that out. Please to send us a like or subscribe or comment. Let us know what you think. We want to talk with you guys and collaborate. If you're interested in being on the podcast, please hit us up. We got season 2 coming up. Every Saturday we film from August all the way to October. So let's get that going. I'm so excited to have you here, David. We're going to have another one with you.
Yeah.
I know season 2, you're going to be on there. So we'll be talking a little bit about fitness and cannabis and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I also want to touch on, there's a lot of big developments in professional sports, collegiate sports. A lot of them are starting to change their tune about cannabis and products and things. So I definitely think we could touch on that too.
Oh yeah, it's going to be exciting, man.
Yeah,
I can't wait. It's going to be very in depth. So be sure to tune in on that sneak peek coming in. Thank you for tuning in to Socials Podcast. I'm Gabe.
I'm David.
And thank you.